Welcome to another episode of The Crypto Show with Stevie and Nick. All right, so we're going to get right into this. I want to find out what is the projections of what's happening, what's on everyone's mind right now is what's going to happen with Bitcoin. So before we get into where Bitcoin's going, what's going to happen, what causes this dip that we're in right now, I want to reflect on the Deutsche or the dog coin. And I want to show, speaking of, okay, that says everything right there.
That says everything right there.
When the dog gets in the cubby hole off the dog coin, you can. It says everything. It's in the shed is where it is.
Exactly.
So we're gonna take a look at how my money deflated, and then see that in comparison to what's going to happen with the Bitcoin, because we got some very favorable news out there for those of you that are watching about what's going to happen with the Bitcoin. So let's roll back the tape a little bit. Yes. About a month ago, there was all this hype about the Deutsche coin, et cetera, and many of us bought in, and many of us, if you did not sell at your profit or take out the money that you put in, you're probably licking your wounds right now, right? I'm licking my wounds to the tune of $400 or maybe $500.
Ouch.
Licking my wounds. Now, I did have a bigger wound because back in February, I actually bought 14,000 shares of it for like $1,000. And then at one point, when it was up here at 70, I could have sold at 10,000. I would have made 10 grand or $9,000, but I didn't do it. But anyhow, nonetheless, most of us got in at the Deutsche right around here. The hoopla was right around 33 to 40 something cents. You went to a barbecue or you heard a friend and they said, yeah, so-and-so made $400, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. So you jumped in, you rode the waves, you got excited. Things were really great. Your mind went into a fantasy. You thought, my God, eventually I'm going to be able to buy an island, right? You thought all these things happened. What's his name? Musk went on to Saturday Night Live. You thought, oh my God, it's going to go through the roof, right? You were just, and you watched that, and then the next day you saw it peter, and it continued doing this, and this, and this.
Down.
So this is my actual account. And as you guys can see, this is a month on the arc of this whole thing, and we're back to where we began. And as Nick said,
low 30s.
He said right here, he said, sell and don't look back because it's worthless. Absolutely worthless.
Exactly.
Right? And people 100%. In the room here and our producers and whatnot said, no, I'm going to double down and blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. Double down in the amount of tissues that you have, because you're crying in your beer right now. That's what's happening. So there's this. So this is what happens when you do not have a firm situation set up to secure your money. And the inflation on a particular coin like this is going to eventually drive itself into the ground. There may be another spike here or there. Hopefully I'll be able to ride one more spike and sell before I end up losing all my money. But that won't happen with Bitcoin.
Exactly.
And so this is the future of Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at why there's the dip, when it's going to recover, and the future of the Bitcoin. Yes. Exactly. Okay, so we can get rid of this now because this coin does not compare to a legitimate coin. Let's see what happens when a legitimate coin has a correction.
Exactly. When a legitimate coin is being used, the difference is A, it's not started as a joke like Dogcoin was, and B, it has a cap. It has a limit on the amount of them that can be produced. This is the same thing that's going to happen eventually with the dollar because they keep printing more money without a limit. And the more of something there is, the less valuable it is. It's basic supply and demand, basic economics. They printed billions and trillions of this dog coin because it was just a joke. And then Emperor Musk decided he was going to pump it up real quick, and then everyone stopped laughing at the joke. And they realized it really wasn't worth anything at all because they had made billions and millions and trillions of it.
Yes.
Whereas with Bitcoin, it's different.
So let's get rid of this. I want to see it.
We're going to get rid of this whole thing.
I want to look at it.
And this is the trajectory you have with Bitcoin.
Okay.
Because Bitcoin has a limited supply. This is why they say it's like gold. Gold is valuable not only because it's shiny, but because it's scarce. What's the difference between gold and fool's gold? You've seen that on those little mining shows. There's gold and fool's gold. The color's only slightly different.
Right.
Only a chemist could tell the real difference between gold and fool's gold.
Okay.
You can find fool's gold anywhere.
Anywhere.
If you were looking around for rocks, fool's gold is a dime a dozen.
It's plentiful.
It's plentiful.
Right.
Gold is scarce. It's rare.
Okay.
And that is why its value goes up over time, not down.
Okay, so before you get into this whole arc, right? Right now we're in a dip, and what some people's mind is, why are we in this dip? How are we going to get out of this thing? Or should I sell? Or do I buy?
You buy.
Do I buy? Right? Is this a sale right now, like a Costco, where you can get an 85-inch TV and they're selling it for $300? Right?
Yeah.
And eventually next week it's going to go back up to the $2,500 TV or what?
This $30,000 Bitcoin is not a price drop. This is Bitcoin at Costco. All right.
Oh, wow.
That is exactly right.
Okay, so we're buying this is a discount. So Nick's advice, suggestion, if we will, because we have a disclaimer that this
not
is
financial advice. Buy Bitcoin.
Right.
This is Bitcoin at Costco.
Okay, so there's that. He says buy, and part of the reason why when we're off screen, he says, remember when Bitcoin was at 5,000, and then now people are complaining that it's at 30,000. You're just like, wow. You're like, wow. So he put that into perspective. And so, how did we get here though? What caused this dip?
So the dip on purpose was caused, well, I shouldn't say on purpose, was caused by two things. For one, there was a slight overestimation in Bitcoin's value because of the stimulus.
Okay.
Because
the stimulus, you mean the government stimulus for the stimulus package?
The government for the stimulus package.
Okay.
Because what the stimulus was intended to do was get the economy going.
Yes.
So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to get that stimulus money and you're supposed to go out and spend it on local businesses and you're supposed to buy stuff with it.
Right.
In particular, you're supposed to spend it on the service economy. You're supposed to go out to restaurants. You're supposed to go, just go get stuff.
Entertainment, whatever.
You're supposed to just go and get the economy going again. Spend that money.
Yes.
What a lot of people did is they said, well, that's not really smart for me.
Right.
What I want to do with that money is I want to invest that money. I want to make more money out of that money.
Oh.
I don't want to go restart the economy with it. And you can't make me restart the economy with it. I'm going to put it into Bitcoin because I'm going to make a lot of money.
Whoa.
And so a lot of people just, they disregarded the intended purpose of the stimulus.
Whoa. I didn't know this
And either
particular philosophy.
Yeah, there are some people, they pay off their credit card debt for it. With example, they say, hey, I just got $1,000. I don't want to go do what the government says with this money the government gave me. I want to spend it on me. I have this credit card debt hanging over my head. I want to get rid of it or whatever. I'm going to pay that off. Other people say, hey, I am going to make more money out of this government money. I'm going to buy Bitcoin.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. You must have a different set of friends, because I know that my friends I know, they went straight to Amazon and that cart was emptied out pretty quickly. They
did exactly what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
That was the whole point, was to go straight to Bezos and give it all to Bezos.
Or Bezos' wife.
Or Bezos' wife. Or it's fish. Okay, so all right, so instead, it didn't really go back into the economy. It went into investing.
It went into investing.
A good portion of it. And how does that equate to it being a dip? It seems like to me, if people bought into Bitcoin, it seems like it would actually make it rise. So how does that end up being a dip for Bitcoin?
This is what's called a bubble. And a bubble is when an asset is priced more than it's worth. Okay. So a bunch of people bought Bitcoin and drove the price up to higher than what the market had valued it at.
Right.
So
is that when it got right around 50?
Yes.
Okay.
So it went way up when the stimulus came in, and a bunch of people started getting all this money into Bitcoin, which was higher than the market rate. So it was artificially. This is exactly what the Federal Reserve does all the time. They artificially inflated something's value. Because they dumped more money into it than what the market itself had decided was the real value. So Bitcoin was sitting at the pre-bubble level.
Right.
The stimulus came, a bunch of people dumped a bunch of money into it, racked the price up, and then all the stimulus money ran out. And so the inflated price of Bitcoin couldn't be maintained without this endless supply of free stimulus money.
Okay.
So eventually, people started selling because it was priced too high for the moment.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense.
And it went right back down.
Okay, so it seems like what Nick is saying is that Bitcoin was doing exactly what it was supposed to do. It was chilling at its rate, right? It was just living within its means. It was doing I am of my own value. And then, maybe you have a friend or two where they started listening to the hype and they started feeling it inflated and their ego got big, and so they started walking around and feeling like they were bigger than what they really were, and so all of a sudden their own value was bigger than what it was.
Exactly.
And then somebody came by, or maybe like the employer came by and says, no, you're still working actually for minimum wage. Like the reality check came back in, and that's what put us back down to the regular. So Bitcoin technically right now is where it should have been.
Exactly.
When it started, all the money went in, the stimulus drove up the price, it got inflated, and then people said, oh no, it's starting to lose its value. And then people started jumping ship, and then now it's settled back to where it should have been. So Bitcoin isn't really lost its value, it just got rid of the inflated value.
Exactly, 100%.
All right, that's good, that helps me. All right, now.
And Bitcoin is still going up long term.
Okay.
But for this particular up and down.
Right.
That's
so this is the trajectory right now of what's going to happen, what's predicted to happen.
Yes.
To Bitcoin in its real self, not its inflated self.
Exactly.
Okay.
100%.
All right.
So right here, this is Bitcoin's stock to flow model, and stock to flow is a complicated analysis that stock traders use to predict the price of a stock. This is not seeing the future. This is not a
tarot card.
This is not a tarot card. This is a statistical guess, an educated guess at where Bitcoin's price is going.
Okay.
That professional stock traders use. They just apply it to Bitcoin instead of stocks.
Right. So a lot of data goes into this particular thing to create a trajectory. Now, this is in Vegas they do something very similar to what the predictions of something is. A lot of information goes into this, and so you can say that with all these different resources, with pretty good accuracy, this could be what's going to happen with this. Okay.
This is a data-driven model.
Okay, good.
It's not tarot cards.
Yeah.
We don't have a time machine to go, that's what it's going to be. No, we don't have that. But it's not. It's more like an educated guess.
More like an educated guess. Good. It has nothing to do with the alignment of the stars.
Exactly.
It's not like Aquarius and the moon is rising, right? Exactly. It's not like, oh, my hand is itching, as my mom used to say it. My hand is itching, I'm going to get some money today, right? Actually, my hand did itch, so maybe maybe my Ethereum is going to come back or whatever the case is. So I'm looking forward to that. That's the one I do believe in. But yeah, so there it is. And what's going to happen? So where are we today?
So right now we are a little ways into 2021, and this is where the actual data points end.
Okay.
So this is where it becomes. This is Bitcoin in the past that we know what happened. This is Bitcoin in the future, which we think is going to happen.
Wait, that's a 69, 71.
No, that's a stock to flow number.
Oh, that's stock. Yeah. Okay, I got a little excited.
A little different.
All right.
So the projected price
of Bitcoin
is here at $100,000.
At $100,000.
This is why a lot of people are saying Bitcoin is going to hit $100,000 sometime this year. Now, we don't know if that's going to happen for sure, but there is a data-driven model that says Bitcoin is going to hit $100,000 this year.
So where are we right now?
Right now, we are halfway.
We're halfway. We're
halfway in between 2021 and 2022.
Oh, we're halfway, yeah. But as far as Bitcoin, we're at 37,
exactly.
36,
right.
36 or 37.
Exactly.
So within the next 6 or 7 months, 8 months, it is projected.
It's projected
with this statistical data.
Yes.
That Bitcoin is going to hit 100,000. At this point, I want you guys to write in the chat. I want you guys to tell me what information that you have. What is the word on the street? When you put your ear to the ground, right? Whatever. You can even go as far as saying, oh, my astrologist says this. I don't care what your resources are. I want to read the comments that either confirm what Nick says or deny it. And you guys might say no. Some of you guys might be anti-Bitcoin and say no, this is the sign, it's going to be driven to hell. Whatever it is, would like you to participate at this point because I'm going to be really excited. Nick has been on one. He's been calling it, and not because he's just pulling numbers out of the air. It's because he understands how these things are constructed, and then with that particular construction, he can put into his analysis. So according to Nick and this particular analysis, it is projected that by 2022, $100,000 for Bitcoin.
Exactly. And further on down the line, this is not near, but maybe around the 2030 mark, it could even get to $1 million.
2025, go there, up to there. What's that?
2026.
All right.
Should take a trip.
Yep. Okay.
And
you're.
So the reason that Bitcoin keeps going up like this, the reason the stock to flow model is like this, is because they keep printing more money. Just because the stimulus driving the value up and then down was a factor of people buying Bitcoin.
Right.
And then saying, oh, it was too high, now we're going to go back down.
Right.
What that really does is drive Bitcoin's price up over time.
Oh, wow.
Because now the value of the dollar, no matter whether anyone bought Bitcoin or gave it straight to Bezos or whatnot, doesn't matter. They put more money into the pool of dollars.
Okay.
And the bigger the pool of dollars gets, the more valuable Bitcoin gets.
Okay.
Because there's more dollars in circulation. And the more dollars there are, the less valuable they are. But the number of Bitcoins stays the same.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're only, every time they make another stimulus, every time they pump more money in, whether it's they put it in the stock market, whether they give direct stimulus to business, to consumer, it doesn't matter what it is. It just, all the market cares about is there's more dollars, they're worth less each time.
Okay, so that's a wrap on this particular episode. I do have, the government always comes up with something unique. So this is with the prediction of the government continuing to do what they do.
Absolutely.
However, I see a couple of curtains being open and like a voila and some weirdness happening with the government that might alter all of the financial situation.
It's possible.
But until that happens, this sounds like the safest bet.
Exactly.
Thank you for watching another episode of The Crypto Show.
Yes.